Well, good evening, WNBA and LA Sparks fans, and happy Sunday evening to you folks as we put a wrap on the third week of the WNBA season, and welcome in, folks, to the LA Sparks 365 Network, your 24/7, 365 comprehensive home of the WNBA, and your two-time WNBA champion, LA Sparks. Welcome in, folks, to the post-game show of today's game, folks. As we all know, pretty much put all of Sparks fans in their beds for a nap following a exhausting triple overtime game, folks, that went both ways, but unfortunately the Sparks faltered 92-84, folks, and what I believe has been by far the most exciting game to watch, with a lot of back-and-forth consternation, folks, and a very sloppy night at the office for both teams, and it could have gone either way, folks. Alongside Chris Mancy at the Internet Studios up in Anaheim, California. Camo joining you, folks, here from Studio 171 in San Diego. Chris, I don't think I'm going to recover for a while. I had to take a 2-hour nap following the conclusion of this game today because it wore me out, man. How's it going up there, though, tonight up there at the Big A?
Just still tired. Still can't even talk. Still exhausted from the 3 triple overtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, a quick stat to know here. This was only the second time in the Sparks' 18-year history where they have played a triple overtime contest, which was also a loss to the Seattle Storm in 2009 on July 22nd up there at the Key Arena, folks. But ladies and gentlemen, as much as we are probably disappointed, folks, I'm going to say it, but I ain't even mad, Chris. It was a bad game on both ends. It was a rough night at the office, man, and it came down to a missed free throw here late in the game, a out-of-this-world three-pointer by Ivory Latta with 5 seconds to play in the fourth quarter, clutch shots in all 3 overtime sessions, man. But, hey, I'm not even mad. I mean, I could care less, man, if we lost. Hey, triple overtime, man, rarely happens in the WNBA, man. And, hey, I know that it didn't go our way, man, but that was still a very exciting and fun game to watch.
Yep, agreed.
So, folks, we'll give you the breakdown real quick here of the game tonight. We have a condensed schedule tonight, folks, but Mystics point guard Ivory Latta had missed shot after shot during regulation, and she took over in the overtime session. Latta scored 14 points and hit clutch shots in all 3 periods, and the Mystics survived 31 turnovers to beat the LA Sparks 92-84 on Sunday afternoon. Bria Hartley paced 4 double-digit scores with a season-high 20 points for the Mystics, who improved to 3-2. Fellow UConn rookie Stephanie Dolson also added 14 and 11. On the Sparks side of the spectrum, Candace Parker dropped 32 and had 12 rebounds for the Sparks, who faltered to 2-2, who had won 5 straight over Washington. LA held leads in the final seconds of the first 2 OT periods, but couldn't finish off the Mystics. Parker quoted saying that we had a lot of chances to close it out. Regulation, the first and second OT, you play with fire so much you're going to get burned, close quote. After missing a potential winning jumper in regulation, Latta sank an off-balance 3 to tie the game at 66 with 5.9 to play in the first overtime. She also tied it at 78 on 2 free throws with 5 seconds left in the second overtime session. Los Angeles discussed this aspect of Latta's game in preparation for the first of 2 matchups with the Mystics this season. Coach Kale Ross said that it's not about how many shots she takes, but when she gets them. Latta likes to take over the fourth quarter. In this case, the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th, she went her way. The Sparks shot 33% from the field. Parker finished 10 of 20, while the starting backcourt of Lindsey Harding added 13, while Elena Beard went 8 for 33. Parker's stat line also included 6 assists and 6 steals, also made 11 of 12 from the free throw line, but her lone miss came on the front end of 2 attempts with 11.5 to play in the first overtime. Parker made the second try for a 66-63 lead, but then Latta followed with what Parker called a crazy 3. Led by Dolson and Hartley, the Mystics reserves outscored their counterparts 63-10 off the bench. Monique Curry and Jelena Milovanovic each scored 12 points. In just her 5th pro game, Dolson and Hartley played extensively in the overtime period. LA turned 31 Mystic turnovers into 36 points. Now the Sparks will try to turn this losing effort into a positive. A quick note, folks, as we may know here, and Chris, we're going to get to this as well, man. about Christy Tolliver later in the show and also on Buzzer Beater LA. But Chris, that recap, man, holy cow! I mean, Chris, it was unfortunate that the game was not on television today, man. But again, Chris, I know some of the fans are a bit disappointed, man, but I am not mad about today's game, man. Now, we know that, yes, Parker's free throw rimmed out in the fourth quarter. Lata makes a out-of-this-world three-pointer. They have a chance to tie to win the game in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th period, man. But, man, looking back at that recap before we go into the numbers, man, your thoughts about the game, man, because I know it's pretty much centered around one player in particular, man, but, I mean, let's talk about it, man, because, I mean, I'm not really upset or sad that we lost, man. Hell, man, it had to come to triple overtime. 55 minutes of basketball, Chris, for somebody to win this game today, man. So, what do you take away from today's loss? Even though it came down, even though it was a loss, man, it went to triple overtime.
It went back to back, going back and forth. Long scoring game in the beginning. The bench for the Sparks was just not on it tonight. And yeah.
Chris, I'm going to say real quick, give credit where credit is due. I mean, the Mystics, Chris, have been a team that the Sparks have beat up on in the past 5 games. So, I mean, now, Chris, you take the loss here, you regroup and play them again in July. So you have some time here, Chris, to sort of go over the game film of this game again when the time comes for that, man. So, hey. I mean, Chris, there's those teams, though, man, there are those teams, Chris, in any sport you play, man, that you simply own. And here and there, man, you're going to lose to them eventually. So, again, man, it's not really like a big deal if the Sparks lost. Now, yes, it does put them 3.5 games behind the Lynx, Chris, but then again, they've already got #1 locked up, so don't even bring up the Sparks winning #1 seed, Chris, because it's not going to happen anytime soon or at all in the future. But again, man, it came down to 3 extra 5-minute periods, Chris. It came down to an extra 15 minutes of basketball for someone to win this game, man. And I'll tell you what, I mean, it was a fun game to watch. I know it didn't go the right way, didn't go LA's way, man, but still, though, it came down to, once again, man, to 3 overtime periods.
Yep.
It just doesn't happen a lot in the WNBA like it does with scoring 100 points. Okay, Chris, we're going to try to dissect these numbers here on WNBA.com, man, because they are pretty bad, man. Final line stats from the game tonight, Chris. Field goal percentage, Washington shot 48%. Chris, the Sparks shot a miserable 33% from the field tonight, man. So obviously, a particular person missing in action is having a bit of a X factor right now on LA.
Yep.
We'll talk about Christy Tolliver leaving the Sparks in just a few minutes here, folks. We're getting back to the numbers, Chris. So field goal percentage, Chris, 40.8 for Washington, 33% even for Los Angeles. Chris, three-point shooting, Washington 37%, LA shot 33.3%. And Chris, it came down to the free throw shooting like normal, 90.9% for Washington, 84.2 for Los Angeles, Chris. Going to the other numbers in general here. Total rebounds, 13-11 Washington. Offensive rebounds, 13-12 LA. Chris, in the turnover department, 29 turnovers for the Mystics, 15 for Los Angeles. The Sparks had 19 fast break points to Washington's 7. The Mystics led by as many as 9. LA's basically was 6. And Chris, this was one of our spark plugs, man. If you recall the keys to the game tweet, man, owning the paint. The Sparks owned the paint. 44 points in the paint to 36 for the Mystics. Player stat-wise, Chris, what else do I have to say about Candace Parker? Don't even start people about the missed free throw. I mean, it came down to a 3-point shot. Basically, Harlem Globetrotter status, folks, to tie the game up at 66, Chris. Parker, Chris, 32 points, 12 rebounds, another in-and-out double-double for CP, 6 assists. And, Chris, Minty Harrington and Candace Parker also tied career highs with steals tonight, 7 for Minty Fresh, 6 for CP. 2 players with 1 block. And for the Mystics, Chris, and shockingly, Chris, it's actually Bria Hartley off the bench, 20 points. Stephanie Dolson, 11 rebounds. Ivory Lotta, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. 2 players tied with 2 steals. And Ruffin Pratt with 2 blocks for Washington. Chris, don't even go there about putting the blame game on Parker's missed free throw, man. She still had 32 points and was the only player to score that many tonight. We know that there were other players in double figures, man, but come on now. It was basically Parker versus Washington, again, like it normally is.
Yep, I agree.
So, again, Chris, we know that there was a few turning points in the game tonight. Specifically, though, man, the blame, in my view, from every Sparks fan should not go on Parker's missed free throw. You blame the front office for allowing Tolliver to walk and go play with the Slovakian national team for basically, Chris, the whole month of June. Chris, 2 things I told you off air after I woke up from my 2-hour recharge nap here. Time off, no Tolliver equals no win. So, Chris, the first point about the time off. Now, we know that they took the Stars to the woodshed last Sunday. But again, man, that long stretch of games, no one got hurt today or no one was hurt during the week of practice. That was one thing, too, to stay healthy as well, so that's 2 things off the list. But also, man, what else didn't help? The travel. The Sparks got into Washington, D.C. at 12:30 a.m. on Friday, on Saturday, 9:30 on Friday here still. So they got there 12:30 on early Saturday morning, Chris. And they had their time off to recover, whatever, man, and 6-0 to start the game, Chris, yeah, but you could tell that they were not clicking on all cylinders because the shooting was off, other things were off, and other things included involving today. Because it looked like, man, the team was not quite gelling yet. It was 6-0 to start the game, man, yes. But you could tell, though, man, that they struggled. Elena Beard, Chris, didn't even show up to play till the overtime periods. Okay, she was gone for all 4 quarters. You know, where's the search warrant? Where's the missing person posters at, man? Because it just looked like everyone was missing in action, Chris. And you can rely it, and Chris, you can partially blame it on the travel to the East Coast. Because normally, Chris, West Coast teams don't fare well on the East Coast, man. But, again, you know, I'm sort of, you know, I'm more so, Chris, upset with the front office of allowing Tolliver, Chris, to walk away from the franchise to try out for one, Chris, in Slovakia, but 2, this is for the 2016 Olympic Games. I don't get, Chris, why Penny Toller, who I'm going to now, Chris, start calling her right now. I'm going to do it here regardless of whatever happens, man. I'm calling her, Chris, 1 cent Toller, Chris, allows the best 3-point shooter on the team to just up and go away, fly back over to Russia, you know, and go try out, Chris, for something happening in 2 years. I don't know what gives, man, and I'm blaming that. I'm blaming today the loss, not on Parker's missed free throw. I know everyone else wants to. She had 32 points. She was our only player today, Chris. I'm blaming it on Penny 1 cent Toller today, Chris, because how can you let one of your biggest puzzle pieces leave the team for something happening 2 years from now, which is the Olympic Games, Chris, because she got passed up by Gino Ariema, Chris, when the season started, Chris, 3 weeks ago, and you've got to get wins. And without Tolliver being there, Chris, we're looking at a 0-3 road trip, getting swept by Minnesota, and, Chris, maybe losing to the Stars when we go June 22nd, probably, Chris. I mean, what do you think here about putting the blame game on today's loss?
Like you said, on Tolliver, well, not being there, but on the front office for letting her go. That's why I saw someone on Twitter, at Tanisha Harding, and I'm pretty sure all the Sparks fans probably going to be saying it since she got cut by New York, Megan Simmons, and pretty much everyone's probably going to want Nikki Green to get cut, and we could bring in Megan Simmons.
Chris, the mock drafts had Megan Simmons going to Los Angeles at the 11th pick of the first round. Had LA not have made the move for Sandrine Greer, which gave the Sun the 11th pick and not Los Angeles, and they had to wait until the second round to make their first draft selection, Chris. Chris, more so, man, I think the fam on Twitter, even Rashad Jackson, Chris, is even, kind of upset at Penny Toller for allowing the best player, one of the better players, Chris, on the team, is the best player's right there, folks, above where my thumb's at, which would be Candace Parker. But Chris, to allow either player 1B or 1C leave because of something going on in 2 years for the Olympics, the third week of the season, Chris, when your biggest competition is 7-0 and they played a bunch of damn JV teams basically, but Chicago, and Phoenix has a 2 spot, Chris, and the Sparks are in 3rd right now, 3.5 games out of 1st place. I mean, this Chris goes on the front office, not Magic and not Mark Walter, Chris. It goes on the damn 1 cent freaking general manager and VP of a team.
Yep, agreed. And like I said off air, I won't be surprised. Not saying it, but if Sparks go 0 until Tolliver comes back, and by doing that, and if Sparks miss the playoffs all because of this whole month, all because of the front office letting Tolliver leaves, I won't be surprised if Matt Johnson, I don't know, lets Tolliver leave or something.
Chris, he's not going to cut Tolliver for leaving. I mean, she had obligations. It'll be on Toller for allowing her to go when she's the GM, Chris, and she has to make the right moves here, Chris. And that is what has plagued the Sparks in the past sometimes, man. As Shorty Mamba has told us many times, Chris, it's been sometimes, Chris, some bad moves made on her part. Either allowing contracts to players that are out of their prime. We know about Myrtle Page in 2008, which was a snafu. Ebony Hoffman was also a snafu when she was out of her prime, when she got into the league 10 years ago playing for the Fever, Chris. So she has made some questionable and bad decisions, Chris. Now we know that she she made the right ones, Chris, in 01 and 02 to win the championships, Chris. So you got to make the right moves now. I mean, obviously, this is not going to help. And Chris, I am saying it here, but I am possibly, Chris, thinking about putting a loss on the June 8th and June 17th games, Chris, against Rashad Jackson's Lynx at Staples Center if Tolliver is not back within the next 24 hours. Because I think, Chris, the Sparks could be on a bad pace here of a long, lengthy losing streak. Because we had them, Chris, winning 2 out of the 3 games, Chris. We had them winning today. Now, Chris, you got an uphill battle. Now you got to go battle Atlanta, who's also scuffling, Chris. And good luck beating Chicago on Friday evening, Chris, because they just dropped 100 on Connecticut. I know it's the Sun, Chris, but still, though, they dropped 100, which does not happen every day in the WNBA, Chris. So good luck winning Tuesday and Friday in Atlanta and Chicago.
Yep, if it happens like today, a low game in the beginning, yeah, good luck, because I won't be surprised if a 30-point loss or a 40-point loss against Chicago.
Chris, again, I think, though, man, there are positives, man. There's not necessarily the negative effect of losing Tolliver today because of whatever they're calling it. I think it's like pro-business over in Russia, whatever, Chris, but there are some positives. You know that Candace Parker is slowly returning back to MVP form. Nneka Ogwumike looks healthy, but, Chris, it's just a matter of getting Candace Wiggins back in the lineup, Chris. She did not travel with the team today, I think, what I saw on the box score today. They upgraded her, Chris, from did not play to I believe not with the team, I believe, because of her swollen knee, Chris. Let me go back and check the box score real quickly, and we'll get to the box score in a second here, Chris. But Chris, there's positives though out of today. Now we know it was a loss, and we're back to 500, Chris, and stuff like that. But there are some positives here. Positives, Chris, being Parker's back to MVP form. Almost. We have to see her drop 30 again in the next few games. We know that Nneka Ogwumike, Chris, is back healthy 100%, Chris. It's just a matter, though, man, of when Candace Wiggins can come back, Chris. What I have seen here, Chris, she is not with the team getting treatment on her injured knee, Chris. So it looks like it's just more so just letting the injury sort of heal. Again, I know it's swollen, Chris. You can go out there and play, but again, in the game of basketball, man, you don't want to risk anything, Chris. So it's more so good that Ice takes some time here to put some ice on the knee and let it rest. I mean, you don't want to re-aggravate the injury, Chris, especially with her bringing a lot of high energy, Chris. We know she's only played in one game, Chris, but again, it's just not having that injury get re-aggravated is the only problem here, man. But again, Chris, there's positives out of this game, man. What do you take away, though, from the positive side, not about the negative side about losing Tolliver today because of some professional business over in Russia she's doing?
Candace, Candace Parker looks like back to MVP form, dropping 30. If, like you said, if she could drop another 30 next few games. Lindsey Harding finally in a three-pointer. And if you can keep doing that, since KT Tolliver's out in Russia, if she could step it up and make threes since she's gone. And Arminty Harrington, the career high in steals today, looking good, and yeah.
Hey, Chris, there's plenty of positives that we listed, man, between Parker and NECA. Lindsey Harding finally making free throws. She's not getting lambasted on Twitter by you-know-who out there because of her hair or whatever else she's doing. And, Chris, I mean, we know about Candace Wiggins being public enemy number 1 on defense, Chris. I think right now Arminty Harrington is right now public enemy number 1 on defense, Chris. The new career high in steals with 7 steals tonight, Chris, leading the team in steals. Chris, to the box score real quick here for the Sparks. We know that they lost again, man, but again, at the box score tonight, Chris, Candace Parker, 32 points, a double-double, Chris, in 48 minutes of action. Nneka Ogwumike, 16 points. Lindsey Harding had 9. Sandrine Gruda with 13 points. Scratch that, folks. Reading the wrong stats here. Lindsey Harding, 13 points. Elena Beard, 9. Sandrine Gruda, 6. Jantel Lavender, only 4. Arminty Harrington also with 4. Chris. Nikki Green did not play. Coach's discretion. Tolliver not with the team. Professional business in Russia. And Wiggins did not play, swollen left knee. For the Washington Mystics tonight, it is all about Bria Hartley off the bench, 20 points. Ivory Lata, 14. Stephanie Dolson, also 14 points as well. Monique Curry and Jelena Milovanovic, 12 points each. And also Mesmerin with 8 points as well for them. And also, Chris, the veteran Kara Lawson, only 3 points, played 20 minutes tonight due to foul trouble, Chris. And also, man, I kind of joke with you, man, about wanting to see a 4th overtime period, man. Yeah. I actually kind of did not want to, man, because of 2 words. Foul trouble. 3 players, Chris, on LA, 5 fouls in the game between Harrington, Ogwumike, and Parker, Chris. So it's better, Chris, if the game ended in triple overtime, Chris, because barring a 4th OT, if you would have lost Parker, Harrington, and Ogwumike, you would have lost regardless of the fact of that happening.
Yep.
So again, Chris, some minor foul trouble tonight with some players getting 5 fouls this evening. But again, folks, the Sparks and Mystics play 3 overtimes in a classic game tonight. Washington, though, wins 92-84. The final line score, Chris, shake my head at the box score, man, for the Sparks, 10 in the first, 18 in the second, 17 in the third, 14 in the fourth, 7 in the first overtime, 12 in the second OT, and 6 in the third OT for a total of 84. And for Washington, 12 in the first quarter, 21 in the second, 10 in the third, 16 in the fourth, 7 and 12 in OTs 1 and 2, and 14 in the third OT. Chris, why I shake my head, man? You didn't abide by the petition law. You didn't even come close to sniffing the law tonight, except twice in the second and third quarter, Chris. So a few factors there, man. Off time, no Tolliver, and you didn't abide by the petition law. That's why you lost tonight.
Yep.
Hello?
Again, folks, petition law, the Sparks scored 20 or more in each quarter. They more than likely will win the game, but that did not happen this evening. So, Chris, with the loss tonight, the Sparks, again, falter, man, to only, man, don't panic, folks. The Sparks have played, by the way, Chris, in case you're wondering, folks, the Sparks have played the least amount of games in the entire league. They are the only team, folks, to not have played 5 or more games yet. The Sparks and the Shock, Chris. Yes, Chris, I am right here. The Sparks are the only team to not have played 5 or more games, because they played 4 only. So that actually, Chris, is a reason not to flip out yet, Chris, because there's plenty of time left, man. There's 30 games left, man. They've only played 4, and Chris, knowing that the fact that the Sparks have played the least amount of games is reassuring for me, at least, because you have more chances to play more games, while teams, Chris, like Minnesota have played 7 already, Chris, and you've played 4, so you still have, Chris, plenty of time to get back in the race.
Yep, agreed.
Again, folks, the Sparks are the only team in the WNBA to not have played 5 or more games yet, folks. And Chris, the Sparks with the loss are 2-2. They are even, Steven and Chris, 1-1 at home and 1-1 on the road. And again, folks, Chris, we're going to move on now to our upcoming game. The Sparks will play the Atlanta Dream on Tuesday night at 4 o'clock. And Chris, it's on ESPN2, Chris. Chris, we actually, Chris, have 2 struggling teams coming into the game on Tuesday night, Chris. The reason why I say that, Chris, the Atlanta Dream are 3-3, Chris, and they are in 4th place in the Eastern Conference, Chris. So normally, Chris, 2 teams that are normally, winning a lot of games, man, they're struggling early and often, Chris. But man, it's not about that. It's about LA playing longtime former Laker and longtime former Sparks head coach, our man, still, folks, my favorite head coach of all time in Sparks history, Chris. No one better than Showtime himself, Michael Cooper, Chris. Okay, outside of the game, Chris, with the Sparks and Dream, man, how weird, Chris, will it be to see Coop on the opposite sideline coaching Atlanta, Chris? And how weird will it feel for Coop coaching against a team, Chris, he led to 2 WNBA titles in 01 and 02?
It's probably going to feel weird when he steps on the court, on the sideline bench, when he sees his former team that he coached to 2 WNBA titles, the Sparks, and he's probably going to, I don't know, probably have tears and be sad.
I don't think he's going to be sad, man. He knows he's got a job to do. That's to beat LA on Tuesday night, Chris. That's his main job, and oddly enough, Chris, I think it's the first time ever I can recall Coop having to beat LA when he's had to win for LA. Now he's got to beat LA on Tuesday night. But Chris, Atlanta and the Sparks, Chris, are in the same boat. They are both, Chris, right at 500, and Chris, the Dream are tied for 4th place in the Eastern Conference, man. They have had some tough luck, man, and they got drilled tonight in Connecticut by a final score of 85-76, Chris. They got blown out by 9. They were down by as much as 20 in the 3rd quarter, man. So there is some little skepticism as to this game on Tuesday, man, that this might be maybe a 6 overtime game because of how poorly both teams played today, man. Now, the Sparks, I think, Chris, now they have their first game in a week under their belt, man. I expect that they will come out of the chute rolling on Tuesday night, Chris. But they have a few factors here, man. They have a few pieces to watch. That'd be Angel McCoughtry, Erica DeSosa, Tiffany Hayes, Chris, and Swin Cash are the 4 players you have to watch on Tuesday night, Chris. But I think, man, after today, they have that game under their belt, Chris, and they basically, Chris, ran the Rock and Roll Marathon in San Diego like we had today. We have our annual marathon down here, Chris. So they basically, Chris, played a marathon game today. So that now they have that game, Chris, under their belt. Now you build the confidence, Chris. Now you get ready to regroup, refocus here, man. So I'm expecting, man, a pretty ugly game again on Tuesday because both teams are struggling so bad, Chris. And barring without KT, man, my scales are kind of tipping a bit towards Atlanta to win. But I think LA can pull it out, though, if they can play some better defense, Chris. Again, I said about defensive lapses, man. One little lapse tied the game in the fourth quarter, man. So some better defense, man. Own the paint, stay healthy, make your free throws when they count the most. You might win, but again, Chris, with Atlanta, though, man, still though the name, the Atlanta Dream, the defending Eastern Conference champs, man. You got Chicago on the horizon, man. Don't want to look past the game on Tuesday, man, but this is going to be probably, man, a game like tonight where it might go either triple, quadruple, 5 or maybe 6 OTs, man, because it's going to be an ugly night on Tuesday. But something is telling me, man, for some damn reason that something's not going to go right for LA. They're not going to play well or something, and they're going to lose again. But I am still, though, confident in a LA win on Tuesday, man. But Your preview, though, your thoughts and a little preview and your analysis on Tuesday's game in Atlanta, GA. What do you got?
I think with today's game, with 3 overtime, I think it's going to help the Sparks this whole season. It's probably going to get the Sparks momentum, confident of what they gone through today, triple overtime. I think they're going to come out Tuesday night rolling and with the win and going to be cruising through the season.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know about cruising, man. You have a lot of roadblocks coming up following Tuesday, Chris. You got to remember, man, you're playing Chicago, then you got Minnesota twice in the coming weeks, man. So it's not going to be really cruising like it would be for the San Diego Sockers win the MASL, man, because now you got tough teams coming up. You got Atlanta, you got Chicago, and then above all, Chris, you've got Minnesota on Sunday. So good luck beating the Lynx, folks, because they're probably going to be breaking the Sparks winning streak record of 18-0 to start the season because no one stopped them yet. So hopefully LA can basically beat Minnesota for once and do it when it counts and break their unbeaten record. But, folks, we will take our opening timeout. When we do come back, we will get to the whip-around coverage, folks, of the WNBA. All the games from today, folks, and a busy Sunday around the WNBA. The W is up next year, folks, right here on the LA Sparks 365 Network. So, folks, don't go away, whatever you do.